All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeff Zuckerman. I am very happy to be here. For those of you who have not come to one of my presentations before, welcome. I really hope that you are able to get something valuable out of this. My main goals of these presentations are not only to provide you with some information, but be able to answer your question and provide you some practical tools and things that you can do, you can implement in your life from right after this seminar for the rest of your life. Because my main goal is to help each one of you out in some way to live a little healthier life. I don't expect each one of you after you leave this seminar to go run a marathon. If you're not already running marathons, it's not my expectations. I want to meet you where you are, definitely answer your questions, and hopefully help you out and entertain you a little bit. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I got a master's in health studies. I've been teaching at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, and also at Mount Olive College for about the past 6 years. And I've been a practicing certified health education specialist for 10 years. So I really enjoy what I do, and I hope that you'll be able to see that in my presentation today. And today we are talking about cholesterol. A few weeks ago, everyone hopefully went through their HRA and got their blood tested. And does everyone have the results from their cholesterol test? I see some yeses and some nos. Okay, so some of you might know your numbers, and if you do, great. If you remember your numbers from the past HRAs, that's great also, because it's good to see where you are and where you're going, and also where you've been to see if you've made any improvements. So hopefully from today I can give you some tips and techniques to make some improvements on those cholesterol numbers. And just have some different cartoons throughout, and going to fast food and places like that, get your arteries to be clogged here, or you can take them home. So today we are talking about cholesterol. Some of it's going to be a review for you, and some of it's stuff you probably don't want to hear about cholesterol. A lot of us, maybe our favorite foods is going to Brits Donuts. I mean, I'll tell you, they're the best donuts in the world, but they're not the best things for our cholesterol, and some things that you can do to try to improve your numbers. So what is cholesterol? First of all, before we get to what is cholesterol, who knows the #1 killer in the United States? Heart disease. Yes, very good. Heart disease is the #1 killer in the United States. About 1 in 6 adults will have high cholesterol. And we all know that high cholesterol can lead to heart disease. So what exactly is cholesterol? Does anybody know what cholesterol is? Just something that's in your blood that sometimes clogs them up, is not fun to deal with? Well, that's a very, very simple definition. But when it comes to cholesterol is something that is naturally made in your body. Okay, mostly your liver produces it, but we also get it from the foods that we eat. About 20 to 25% comes from the food we eat. The rest, comes from made up in our liver. So it is something that our body needs. It's very important in growth and development of like cell membranes, bile, and other things that are very important processes in our body. So it is important, and it is something that we need. But when we get too much, that's when it becomes a problem. The three numbers that you need to know when it comes to your cholesterol are your LDL, your HDL, and your triglycerides. Which one of those three is considered your bad cholesterol? LDL, yes. LDL is your bad cholesterol. This, when there's too much of it in our bloodstream, it combines with other substances, and it starts, hardening on the sides of your arteries and restricting blood flow. So if a blood clot was to come through an artery that has been narrowed by this LDL and build up a plaque, we could get a heart attack or we could get a stroke. We don't want that to happen. So the good cholesterol, HDL, let me get back to your LDL. What's a good number for LDL? Where do you want that number to be? Shout it out. Well, no, LDL. Your total cholesterol, you want to be below 200. So when it comes to your LDL, what do you want your numbers to be? Yeah, 100 or less is good for your LDL. When it comes to your HDL, that's your good cholesterol. It's good cholesterol because it helps move cholesterol through the body and gets it back to the liver so the liver can excrete it. So that's a good thing. When it comes to our numbers for HDL, we want those numbers to be about 60 or above is a good number for your HDL. So if you've already got your numbers back, go back, look at those, see where your numbers are. See, if you're in the good range. Now, if your HDL is lower than 40, that is also associated with a risk for heart disease. So if your LDL's, high and your HDL's too low, those are two bad negative things you got going for you when it comes to your cholesterol numbers. What about triglycerides? Anyone know what the triglyceride numbers should be? Less than 200, yes. So you want your triglycerides to be less than 200 milligrams per deciliter. That's what that mg over dl is, milligrams per deciliter. So that's just the basics when it comes to our numbers and our cholesterol. But cholesterol is something that you need, but if we get too much of it, that's when it becomes a problem for us. So the next piece, when it comes to cholesterol, there's a couple things that we have no power over. So we can say that when it comes to our gender, being female, after you go through menopause, estrogen is kind of a protective effect. When it comes to your cholesterol numbers, and your HDL or your cholesterol will go up after menopause. Also, as we age, both males and females, our risk for high cholesterol definitely goes up. And then our family history. So if any of you have a mother, brother, sister, or father who has had high cholesterol or who has died from heart disease at an early age, you are at a much greater risk. So it's a good thing to know your family history. And that is definitely something that Doris here can help you out with. Has everyone made an appointment with Doris? Does everyone know who Doris is? If you don't, I'm going to go over to the end of the slide. I'm going to show you her number and also where she's located in case you have not met her or have not gone over there for an important. The last piece on the slide is probably the most important. These are things that are in your control. These are things that you have the ability to change. These are the things that you have the ability to do something about. Obviously, it comes to our diet. Like I said before, Brits donuts are good, but they are not good for us. And when it comes to eating things like that, we need to practice moderation. And moderation isn't just eating half a bag. It's not considered moderation. Having one or half of one of those donuts would be moderation. Every once in a while, not every night. Again, we need to think about moderation, think about the things that we're putting into our bodies because it is very important what we put into it. And we'll get into the diet a little bit more. Our weight, being overweight and obese has a direct link to a lot of cardiovascular disease, also diabetes, and many other things. Physical activity. And I'm not saying that you have to go run a marathon or you have to go to the gym. Those would be great things, but not everyone's, that's their passion. Find some type of activity that you enjoy doing. If you like to swim, we've got plenty of water around here. You can go swimming. If you like to, go for a walk with your dog or friends or family, anything like that, find something that's going to be enjoyable for you because that is more likely going to stick with it if it's something that you enjoy doing. And then finally, smoking. I've got some cards up here on the front and also on the back table. It's called Becoming an X. Smoking, not only all the other harmful effects, but also it leads to high cholesterol, heart disease, and all those things that I'm sure you have heard about. So big thing, when it comes to our diet, where do you eat? What do you eat? Do you go to a fast food establishment that has absolutely no healthy options, all they serve is fried foods all the time, and you go there frequently? If you do go to a place like that, they might have CPR instructions on the placemats. And that's probably not a place you want to frequent very often, if at all. So you do have the power to make the choices for those things. So fat is something like cholesterol that we need in our bodies. We need it to do many of our body processes need fat to happen. But the thing you need to know about which fats are healthy and which fats are unhealthy, which fats to avoid, and which fats you want to try to possibly get more of or substitute them for some of the worst fats. So we've got saturated fats, trans fats, unsaturated fats. Which do you think are the worst fats for you on that list? Saturated? Well, that's a good guess, but what's the worst fats for you are trans fats. Because trans fats, not only do they lower our good cholesterol, but they also increase our bad cholesterol. So that is why you want to avoid those at all costs. And what are trans fats exactly? They are when they hydrogenate oils. Why they do that is to increase shelf life, taste of food, different things like that. A lot of our French fries, our cakes, our cookies, our mixes, lots of different things like that have hydrogenated oils in them to increase the shelf life and also the taste of them. So just when you're going out and you're buying these type of foods, these snacks, just look on the list. Since 2006, all food labels have to list trans fat. Now, they can get around a little bit if they decrease their serving size, so there's less than 0.5 grams of trans fat in it. If it's less than 0.5, then they don't really have to list trans fat. But if you look down through the ingredients and if it says partially hydrogenated oils or hydrogenated oils, there's a good likelihood that that has some trans fat in it. Saturated fats, trans fats, and unsaturated fats all are very concentrated source of energy. They all have 9 calories per gram. Doesn't matter which one it is. So they all provide you extra energy. But the extra, obviously the extra calories you get and the extra fat that you get has to go somewhere if you do not burn it off through exercise or metabolism or those type of things. So it's very important to think about those things, when you are putting them into your body. So when it comes to saturated fats, these are derived from animal products. Your meat, your dairy, your eggs. When it comes to choosing meats, you want to choose leaner cuts of meats. And also when you get them, I know when you cook them, the fat makes them taste a little better, but you want to trim that fat off before you cook them so that you can reduce some of the cholesterol in those products. There are some plant-based resources that do contain cholesterol, and you can see them on the list there. We've got coconut, palm, and palm kernel oils. How you know if it's a saturated fat is if it is solid at room temperature, and not only do they clog our arteries, but they also raise our LDL. So just going back to trans fats. Showed you here's just an example of the nutrition label. Here you can see where trans fats are. You can see there's 2 grams per serving. So if you get a box of cookies and it says that 3 cookies is a serving, and there are 21 cookies in that box, and you decide to sit down and you're bored and you don't have anything better to do, and so you go ahead and eat that whole box. And there are 2 grams of trans fat for that. How many grams of trans fat have you had? So 3 cookies, 3 into 21 is 7. So you have 7 times 2 is 14 grams of trans fat. That is way too many. That you shouldn't be having that many in a week. So definitely try to avoid trans fats as much as possible. A lot of processed foods have them. Come on. Unsaturated fats. Now these are the fats that are more healthy for you. These are the fats that you want to try to replace those saturated fats and those trans fats with. Just a kind of good rule of thumb, instead of cooking with butter, cook with olive oil. Olive oil is an unsaturated fat that has heart-healthy benefits for it. You want to get about 2 tablespoons of olive oil a day. So you can saute some vegetables in a frying pan with some olive oil is a good way to get that serving. You can use it as a dipping sauce for some bread. So there's lots of simple ways you can do that to try to increase the amount of olive oil you're doing and getting rid of some of that butter you might be cooking with. These are also found in peanut oil, canola oil, and also avocados. Some of the good fats you want to find in like fish. At the end, I'll give you a list of all those fish that you can find the good omega-3 fatty acids in that are really good for you, and you want to get those about twice a week. So here are the 5 foods to eat. Who likes oatmeal? Few people. All right, if you don't like oatmeal, start liking oatmeal. There's many different varieties of oatmeal out there. There's instant oatmeal, there's steel-cut oatmeal. There are so many different varieties of oatmeal out there. You can find one that you will like. Obviously, the more processed, like the instant oatmeal it is, the less healthy that is, but there's still going to be fiber in there, which is very important. That's why oatmeal is first on the list, because oatmeal is a very good source of fiber. Also, oat bran, other high-fiber foods. So if you don't necessarily like the taste of your oatmeal, maybe throw some apples in there or throw a banana in there. Those will help you out, not only enjoy it, but also get some extra fiber in that meal. Fish, you got a picture of salmon. You get salmon, mackerel, lake trout, herring, albacore tuna, and halibut are all very good sources of omega-3 fatty acids. And again, you want to try to get that twice a week if possible. You know, Harris Teeter always has a sale on some type of fish, and a lot of times it's salmon. Also, they've had some halibut there also. It is very good to eat, and if you can get it, definitely do. Next on the list, walnuts, almonds, and other nuts. Now, with these, they are very calorie-ridden also. So you've got to use moderation when it comes to eating these type of nuts. A handful is about a serving, and it's a good serving to have. So, you know, some good snack you can have at your desk, or if you're out in the field, wherever you might be, just having a handful of, you know, walnuts, almonds, or other type of nuts can definitely help out and get you some heart-healthy benefits. But just avoid getting, you know, 5 handfuls throughout the day. That's not practicing moderation. Already talked about olive oil. Does anyone know what sterols or stanols are? Well, a lot of your yogurt drinks have those added in there. And those are actually good things to be looking for when you're buying those type of products. Also, orange juice is another product that's on the market that has those things. And you want to have about 2 grams per serving, or in 2 servings if you want to have 2 servings of those to get the heart-healthy benefits from those. So when it comes to changing your diet, first of all, has anyone ever made a meal plan or done a food diary for a day, for a week? A couple people? That is something that I definitely recommend you do. Look at what you're eating during the week, because you'll see the types of things that you're putting in your body. And if you find that you don't have a lot of energy, it could be, 1, that you're not eating the right foods, and 2, definitely you're not getting enough exercise and probably not enough sleep. So they're all those types of things we can change and hopefully have some control over. Here I just want to make a list of some alternatives to some of our favorite snacks that we have. Most of us like chocolate. Most of us feel that we need to get a chocolate fix sometime throughout the day. If you've got a fridge in your office or a freezer, some of these options might be better for you. You can have fat-free fudgesicles. 1 fat-free fudgesicles. Don't overindulge. Non-fat hot cocoa mix or fat-free chocolate pudding. Those are all good options. You still get a chocolate fix, and you avoid the excess cholesterol that you get in the chocolate. Pastries, you can have some graham crackers or some vanilla wafers. Biscuits, muffins, or croissants. Having a pita. Any type of whole wheat bread or roll or anything like that is going to be a better substitute than those things we might enjoy in the morning. Potato corn chips or corn chips, pretzels, popcorn, those types of snacks are definitely going to be good alternatives there. And high-fat crackers. You know, breadsticks, Melba toast, you know, those really full flavor type things are good substitutes, you know, if you need something crunchy. And definitely look for whole grain when it comes to the crackers that you buy. Now, avoiding fat is a good thing, especially saturated and trans fats. But there are a lot of products on the market that are either fat-free or low-fat. And what is the one thing about fat? What does it do to us while we're eating? What does it make you feel? Full. Yeah. When we eat fat, it makes us feel full. And so if you buy one of these products, like, you know, a while ago I bought a bag of like Snackwell Devil Food cookies, and they're fat-free. I was like, sweet, I got me some fat-free cookies. So I started eating them. I didn't know how they were going to taste. I was like, wow, these taste pretty good. And, you know, a few minutes later, I found out I ate the whole box. I think there's like 12 in the box. And, you know, I thought to myself, well, they're fat-free. That's no problem. But just because they're fat-free doesn't mean they're calorie-free. So, you know, don't fall in that trap because I wasn't feeling full and I fooled myself thinking they were healthy. I know we do this to ourselves all the time. We fool ourselves into thinking things are healthy when in moderation they can be, but if we do in excess, they are really not. So this last slide here are things to do and things to avoid. Exercising. Whatever it is that you like to do, if you like gardening, I know for your wellness incentives there's different things that you can do to try to get some of this activity. But the basic rule of thumb is getting 150 minutes a week. That's what you want to do. If you want to be just a weekend warrior and get 150 minutes on the weekend, that's your choice. But what's recommended excuse me, is about 30 minutes a day, at least 5 days a week. So if you do 30 times 5, that's still 150. So you want to get about 150 minutes a week. Like today, I parked a little bit farther away so I can get 10 minutes of walking in here. So I knew that I got a third of my daily requirements, or I got a 15th of my weekly requirements. However you want to look at it. You can find times in your day to incorporate exercise into it. Again, time management is another skill that we need to look at when it comes to finding time to do those things that can benefit us. If you smoke tobacco, the best thing you can do is quit. I've got some resources for you here. There's some incentives, through the city that you can access to be able to make a plan to be able to quit. So there's definitely things that you can do. That is probably the best thing that you can do for your health if you are a smoker, is to quit. If you excessively take alcohol or use alcohol, that is also something you want to try to minimize. Again, that's something that we can make a plan for you with that. Try to reduce your stress. Try to eat better when it comes to your choices, either during the day, especially when you get home, because not only are you eating for yourself, but also for your family. Choose to be more active and try to eat a balanced diet. So what you can do, you can't see that, but call Doris. Her number, since you can't really see it up there, is 910-202-3965. If you don't know where her clinic is located, it is at 800 Shipyard Boulevard, Suite 1. Please call her. Make an appointment if you have not already. If you already have your cholesterol numbers, she can help you to make a plan. If you have not received them yet, when you receive them, give her a call, and she will definitely help you out, make a specific plan for yourself, and it will also fit into your life plan from Living Well Health Solutions. I was talking about a food diary, but after you figure out what your food diary is, how to plan healthy meals. Look at what you are taking in for the week and plan a meal. So that way it eases your shopping trips. Also, you can plan healthier meals throughout the week, and you can have healthier leftovers so you can bring them to work or on the job or any of those type of things. Meal planning will be very important. Exercise, 150 minutes a week. It's not a lot. You can all do that. Either 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, or however you can get it, break it down to get 150 minutes. When it comes to smoking, make a plan to quit. Become an X is a great resource. Through Blue Cross Blue Shield, you have resources, and also 1-800-QUIT-NOW is another resource that you do have. And then your Healthy Life Plan. Some of you might have this, especially if your results came back that you did have high cholesterol or elevated. Discuss interventive strategies to reduce your risk of heart disease. So some of those things I definitely talked about today. If you are prescribed medication for your cholesterol, which some people are, please make sure you take it as directed, because it will help improve your cholesterol. And then you'll go and you'll get another blood screen and you'll be like, oh, my numbers are doing well. I don't need to take that anymore. That is totally not true. That medicine is what is helping keep your numbers down, especially if you're not exercising and doing the correct things when it comes to your diet. So, that is the end of the information part. Now, open it up to any questions that you might have when it comes to cholesterol, lifestyle changes, anything that I can help you out with. Yes? The right number would be 0 if possible. If you can avoid, trans fat is the worst fat for you. So if you didn't hear that question, she said, I mentioned about 14 grams of trans fat in a week is more than you should have. And my recommendation for everyone is to avoid trans fat as much as possible. If you can limit it to 0, that would be the best. Because what I said with trans fat is not only do they increase your bad cholesterol, but they also decrease your good cholesterol. Whereas exercising increases your good cholesterol, your HDL, and decreases your bad cholesterol. So don't just take in a bunch of trans fat and then exercise more. It's not really the best method to do that. Other questions? 100. So the question was, when it comes to exercise, what do I mean by exercise? Exercise is where you get your heart rate up. So where you find out what your heart rate is, or your heart rate range is 220 minus your age. So I know I've done a lot of math today, and I don't normally do this in presentations, but 220 minus your age, and then you multiply that by 0.6 or 0.9, and that will be the range that you will want to exercise in. So if you are 20 years old, 220 minus 20 is 200. Then you multiply that by 0.6 and 0.9. And I can't do it off the top of my head, but your heart rate would be between like 120 and 160 is your heart rate range that you would want to be in for that time period to be considered exercise. So yes, your normal daily routine, if you're working outside and doing those type of things, that's not putting extra strain or stress on your cardiovascular system and those type of things. So you really want to increase that to be able to get the benefits of exercise. Other questions? Nope. Well, it is 2:30, so I wanted to get you out of here by then. So if there are no other questions, I'm still going to be around. If you want to ask me something individually, I'll be glad to answer those, but I appreciate your time. I hope that you will be able to take something from here, and please contact Doris or myself. I'll have some information that I'm going to pass out, I think, through the internet to be able to help you out, some guides and some information that was included in the presentation today. So thank you very much, and have a good day.